So we're going to have a go at decoupaging a lampshade, okay? So it tells you in the book exactly what you need, and this is really important. Always using LED light bulbs are easily available now for any decoupage project. They don't give warm, they don't give out heat. So you're being absolutely 100% safe with an LED light bulb. So that's really important because obviously we're using paper to put onto our lampshade. Now we are using actual lampshades and we're decorating them, so they're already safe. But I'd rather be sure to be sure, okay? This takes you through all the different steps, gives you a few different wee hints and stuff. Again, it's worth reading through first, and then also tells you about using fabric, and we'll touch on that in the end as well. So you've got different problem solving things and different ideas to do as well. And in my workshops, people love these. It's just something a wee bit different, and there's something nice about light shining through. So for our project here, I'm going to use a drum lampshade, so it's just the same the whole way around, and I get this in IKEA. It comes flat packed and I sell them in my shop. And we're going to use napkin, scissors, Mod Podge, sponge dabbers, a brush and water. Okay, so that's all that we need. Okay, bear with me 2 seconds. Now, here's one I prepared earlier. So it comes flat, okay, and you just have to push in the 2 rings. The good thing with this IKEA one is it fits the 2 lamp size, the bulb size fitting. Some lamps are for the smaller one, some are for the bigger one, so that wee ring there comes off. So you have the option for both. You need to make a decision on whether you're putting it on a lamp or whether you're putting it on the ceiling. Okay, that's important. If your napkin has a character, if it has a up and a down thing, I'm going to use this leaf napkin, so it doesn't really matter for that. But you could be maybe doing a snowman and you don't want them upside down. Okay, the first thing to do, whether you're using a brand new lampshade or you're maybe upcycling one that you already have, is I always give it a coat of Mod Podge first. It just seals the surface, and it means when you come to the napkin stage you are prepared. Okay, it just makes it life easier. So this one has already been done and is drying, and I just want to draw your attention. Let me see. Yeah, so all lampshades will have a seam at the back, so you can see that there. So I am going to have that as the back of my lamp. So again, if you're doing a character, you don't want to be putting that. That's all 4, but if we thin this out a second, do you see? You don't want to be having that line going through your most important part. Okay, so we've decided where we're putting it, and we've decided front and back, so that's grand. We have done our Mod Podge layer and it is drying, so here we go. Oh, the other thing I should say is a tin of something. What I did, I'll just have to show you this on the side, but whenever I glued it, I stood it on the tin so that the bottom wasn't touching the table, just on the off chance of it catching. So it just, and I'll do this while I'm drying my napkin too, so it's a wee handy hint. Other thing to say is, if you're using a conical lampshade, you know, like the sort of shape of a pot, always try your napkin first. Smaller areas and the cocktail napkins work easier, okay, because you're going over a curved surface there and there's less chance of wrinkles. Alrighty, so I have my seam away from me, and if that's going to sit fine. And here comes my trusty tin again, just to keep it in position, and lo and behold, I have another one. There we go. Okay. So, the luncheon napkins, if you are doing one that goes right across, what I have discovered is half of the napkin covers top to bottom. It's slightly longer, which is good, because then we'll use a little bit of sandpaper or a wet finger just to rub off the edge for a perfect fit. And it goes just over half around the way. So what I'm going to do first of all is, I'll just move this out of shot for a second. I'm just going to cut this napkin in half first of all, so just along the fold. And then because I'm going to cover the whole of my lampshade, the two halves are going to have to meet. So I'll have half along here and then half along the bottom. And I don't really want lines, so I'm going to use my water and brush, and I'm just going to take a little bit off each end. Only a little bit, so I'm just wetting here. And then I'm just going to pull that off. There we go. And this is just, it gives a softer edge, it gives a softer join, takes the tension away from it. And I just gather up my little bits. So just water and brush, nothing else. I don't need to cut the top and the bottom to fit exactly. I'll put it on first, and then when it's dry I can just rub off the spare bits. There we go. Okay. And then I'm just going to have a little practice. So I've got my ring at the bottom here because I'm putting mine on a lump. I've got my seam away from me there. Yeah, I prefer it that way round. Okay. And I can see roughly where I need the glue. Okay. So I set that to one side. I'm going to add my glue. So I've got my Mod Podge and my sponge. This is the other thing, good thing about doing smaller areas first, or doing it half and half, so you can keep it one surface touching your tabletop. It's okay, makes it a bit easier. And it's always the rule, the smaller the area you are decoupaging, the less, you know, the easier it is to handle, really. So what you could do with these leaves, some people would prefer it, is just cut them out. And if you are cutting them out, because we're putting a napkin with a white background onto a light lampshade, you can just cut the leaves out and leave a white border around them and place each one on individually. So I'm just going down probably over where my napkin will go. And again, putting white glue onto a white surface is quite hard to see. So you just kind of have to move it around a little bit. And I'm just looking for a reflection of it catching the light to see. Yeah, I've spotted a few gaps. So if I've missed anywhere. The key here is even coverage. Because I've already done a layer of glue, I know it's not all soaking into the fabric. So that first layer of glue is really important. Okay, so we'll put that on there. I don't use paint with these. You could use acrylic paint, you could use watercolor paint. Emulsion paint or something that's more solid wouldn't really work because the light won't come through it. So if you're ever in doubt, just try something on a piece of paper to see. So I have my napkin. Okay, I'm doing it. I'm wetting my finger and thumb. I'm holding down, pinch, and release. And there we go. gently does it. And there is, look, my 2 layers, okay? So they're scrunched up and they're put away. Okay, I'm going to stand up for this now. So, we're just going to hover. And once it starts, that's it. So, fingers crossed, here we go. That is looking good. Okay. Yep. Okay, so as with the pots, we get our cling film. Now I'm going to move these pots out of the way. And we press our cling film and we pull it around and pull it around. And I've actually got it to meet, which makes it a little bit easier. Okay. Now, what I tend to do here is, because you can't really lean on here because there's air in behind here. So, because the cling film will protect it, if you can see, I'm putting my hand in here and I'm rocking it. Tells you this in the book, okay? And I'm rocking it backwards and forwards. And that way, I'm able to press down and hopefully press any air out, okay? And you're getting even pressure all around. So we keep doing that and then give it any extra little rubs. So I've got the cling film here and pulling it tight again. I'm going around. And as you can see, this is why I'm doing this in real time. It doesn't just happen instantly. You are having to work it a little bit. It's worth it. It's a labour of love. Okay. With light shining through, it will reveal any laughter lines or wrinkles that little bit more. But again, sometimes you can learn to love them. But this is what you do to reduce them as much as possible. So we'll keep doing that. And I'm pressing right down on the ring now as well. Okay. And that should be that. Now, I'm just using the cling film just to very gently target a few areas. Okay, but that is looking good. That should dry grand. Okay, can you see? So what I'll do then is let that dry, completely dry. And then repeat the process with the second half, okay? And then it's really important to give it some sealing coats. And that's that, really. And then look, you see the edges here. So if I put this down again, they just need rubbed off either with your finger and thumb or with sandpaper, okay? And it's amazing, actually, how effective these are. And if you think about it, you could have a lampshade. You could have a hanging heart, a little keepsake box, all matching. So I'm just turning off lights here because here is one I made earlier. Here we go. And I have it with the light and all on. So you can see, this is the one that's in the book. Here we go, look. Remove these tins. So you will see, there's the join of the lampshade, okay? And there's my torn edge and my torn edge, okay? And there's something really lovely. It's like a stained glass window. It's really nice with light coming through it. And the last thing I want to show you is this one. So we'll put that one. I've got 10 million leads here. And we have this one here. Now, I mentioned in the book about using fabric. I have lots of batik, but lots of different fabrics work. So you can see how lovely that is. Those are all batiks. I had actually stitched those. I quite like the effect with the extra fabric, but you can glue directly on. And I just want to demonstrate for you. We talked about right side up and stuff, but the other thing I want to mention is I use white or cream coloured lampshades because colour affects what comes through, because the light's pushing through. If your lampshade is coloured and you're putting a napkin on, that will affect the colour. So you could be putting on a snowman and thinking, oh great, I'll have a lovely white snowman, but the snowman, because the napkin is so thin, it's see-through, and it'll take on the colour of the lamp. There you go, you can see them a bit easier on the blue there. So if you want that on purpose, you know, you could get something really subtle. That's fine, but I'm just making you aware of that. And if in doubt, just get a light and hold a couple of things up against it and see how you like the effect of the light shining through. So there you go. We have gone from this to this, and we'll do a decoupage lampshade. Happy decoupaging.